Hey everyone, it's your friend Thinknoodles, and welcome to Ask Think for June of 2017. And before we get started, for those of you guys who are fans of the series, a lot of questions came. Where is Ask Think? Like all over the weekend and everything, because June 1st came at the end of last week. And just for future reference, so that you don't get worried that I didn't do it or I'm stopping it or something like that, it's always on the first Monday of the month. So that would be today, June 5th, is the first Monday in June, because I've always done Ask Think on Mondays, and that's sort of kind of why. So last month's question was, if you could own a business, any business, what would it be and why? And Kelsey Aren says, for June, if I could own a business, it'd probably be Nintendo, because Nintendo shaped my childhood and has had a major impact on my life. I even own a GameCube, a Game Boy, and an original DS. And my parents have the original gaming system and let me use it now and again. And you know what? Me too. I mean, that's not the one I chose for this, because I have another reason, and I'll tell you why in a bit. But a Nintendo did definitely contribute to my childhood. You know, the one I see missing here is you don't have a SNES, so you need to tell your parents to pick up a Super NES. Tara Jones says, if I could own any company, I would honestly own the Make-A-Wish Foundation. It's an awesome company, and it's sad to see all these people suffering from these conditions, but it really brightens up their day, brings a smile to their face to get a wish they've always dreamed of, and making others happy makes me happy. And yes, Make-A-Wish Foundation is a really, really amazing charity, and I've met a lot of people that work for them, and all of the people are super genuine, and most of them do it for free. So very, very great charitable organization. Pam Cake Sprinkle says, if I could own a company, I would own some sort of chocolate company like Cadbury's, because I love chocolate. Chips and Salsa says, if I could own any company, I would own either Tesla, Apple, SpaceX, Alphabet, Boeing, Intel, Disney, or Sony. I have more, but I'll just choose Apple since they're currently building a really cool HQ and their market cap is larger than any other company, I think, in history. Now I will just let you go on with your day, as well as letting Elon Musk keep Tesla and SpaceX, I guess. Unicorn Poo Poo says, I would own Crayola. I love art and the products Crayola produces and sells, and I think it would be awesome to own it and make that sort of fun stuff myself and see the behind the scenes process. You know, I've always wondered, like, and I'm sure that there are videos on it, but how crayons are made. It's just, you know, because like wax and it's in the paper thing, and like they must heat it and then cool it, and then I guess they wrap it around it after, right? Yeah, they must wrap it around after, otherwise it would like melt the paper. You can't melt paper. Burn the paper. Jacob Cylinder says, I would probably own Chick-fil-A because I love the food and their service is really good. You know, I love Chick-fil-A too. And it's really funny that you mentioned their service, because my dad, like, he sort of takes advantage of them when he goes to Chick-fil-A, because their service is really that good. And whenever he goes, he like, after he eats whatever he's gonna eat, he gets an ice cream cone, right? And then he eats the ice cream down to the cone and eats it flat. And then he goes to the counter and asks them for a free refill. Because, you know, they have like, you know, they have like not advertisements, but informational signs that say free refills and it doesn't specifically say drinks. So he goes to the counter and he says, I'd like a refill on my ice cream. And every single time they give it to him. It doesn't matter what Chick-fil-A it is. It's crazy. They're like, at first they're like, is this guy nuts? Like, what? We don't give free refills on ice cream. But then they think it's so funny that they just do it, and he gets it every time. The Minecrafting Panda says, for me, I would have a business about extinct animals. That's because I really want all the animals to survive. Oh, and also because I'm in love with pandas. I mean, it's in the name and profile pic. So I think you mean endangered animals, because once they're extinct, like, not a lot we can do. Although, you know, I was thinking the other day, like, you know, we've got cloning technology well, I mean, we have, people clone sheep and things like that. So I was wondering, like, why, or I'm hoping that scientists, zoologists, and conservationists have taken DNA samples of animals that are critically endangered. You know, because like there are some species that probably won't survive because their numbers have gotten down into the, you know, under 100. and the odds of them expanding their population again is really, really low. But if they were to take enough DNA samples that if it got to the point where they can't, there's only boys left or something, that they could clone one of the girl or female DNA, not girl, boy, because boys and girls are human beings, but male and female, and they could introduce a cloned female and that could mate with the males and then further regenerate the species. I hope, because we have that technology. So for me, the company that I would own, and a lot of you guys put this in, would be Mojang. And not because like I could get, I could make Minecraft free for my friends or anything like that. I would own Mojang because from my end as a YouTuber and as a huge fan of the game, I feel like mistakes have been made as far as mods, the way that the server community is. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the server community. I just feel like there could be a better way for people to find servers and play with each other and multiplayer and build better communities. With Microsoft's huge amount of money that they paid for it, and also their infrastructure that they have, I think there would be a really, really good way of making Minecraft extensible with plugins and mods, make it a lot easier for people to install them, and two, for people to find and use servers, minigames, etc. I think it's a missed opportunity, and I really think, well, I think highly of myself, but I think it could help expand, or my ideas could help expand the popularity of Minecraft further than it already is. And I guess I'm not in charge, so I don't get to make any of those decisions. Now, for next month's question, it comes to us from Tyler Miller, and it says, question for July: if you had a chance for a do-over in life, what would you do differently? Whew, that's a good one, man. All right, so before we get to the questions for me, I want to remind you to leave your question in the comments below so I can have something to answer in the next episode. Remember, only one question per comment, but you can leave as many comments as you like. Also, if the comments on this Ask Think are closed, go to the most recent episode of Ask Think and ask your question there. So the first one comes to us from Dara. Hey, Dara, and it says, with the Sometimes music video you released, we saw also you meet your wife. By the way, love the music video. Thank you. Can you tell us in more detail how you and your wife fell in love? Okay, well, first of all, if you want to know about my wife and I, how we met and all that stuff, check my Draw My Life. If you go to my main channel page, it is the most watched video, and you can check it out there. There's a lot more information about that. But I want to get back to the music video, and that is not how my wife and I met. I did want to make a music video about my wife and Kopi and I, or had them in it. And I also wanted to make a story about being young and having a crush on a girl, because when I was younger, I had crushes on girls and I was always too afraid to talk to them or, ask them on a date or to be my girlfriend or anything like that, because I was just too nervous. I was too scared. And, now that I'm older, right, some of those girls that I had crushes on, and they're women now, when we reconnect, like on Facebook or something like that, and they have pictures of their husband and their kids and stuff, and I say, oh, your children are beautiful, and then or whatever, and it's sometimes it'll come around. It's like, I had the biggest crush on, and I'll tell them, I had the biggest crush on you in like 5th grade, and I was always too afraid to talk to you, and they were like, well, you know what? I had a crush on you too, and so I wanted to make the video so that some of you guys could take the chance that I never took, and maybe find some love. Shreya Zucci asks, how does it feel to you knowing that you made so many people happy with your channel? You know what? It's so fulfilling, and your question actually makes me think specifically of something that happened about a week ago in Grand Cayman. We were out getting ice cream with Kopi, and it was my wife and actually my parents and I and Kopi, and we were waiting outside Haagen-Dazs because Kopi loves ice cream, but she can't go in. Actually, I think she could have, but anyways, besides the point. So I was out there, and a young person, a young kid named Ryan, walked over and just looked at Kopi and said, "Oh, what's the name?" And I said, "Kopi." And his eyes got really big and he jumped back like immediately, like shocked. And then I was like, "Oh, I know where this is going, right?" And he says, "You think noodles?" And I said, "Yeah." And I don't know, maybe he was about 6 feet away at the time. He ran at me, just ran and grabbed me around the waist and hugged me and said, "Oh my God, I am your biggest fan. I love you so much." And I was like, that like was so fulfilling to have that reaction out of him, you know, just like the surprise and the joy and the smile on his face and the look in his eyes. And then he ran inside and got a phone and we took a picture together, and it was awesome. It was awesome. And I can't compare that feeling to anything else in my life. Wolfgamer400 asks, do you have a fidget spinner? Well, yes, I have the one you guys saw in the Roblox video. And after I made that video, I've seen so many people with them, and they are everywhere. And I mean everywhere. They're like all the people that sell like the cell phone cases and the selfie sticks in New York. They sell like fidget spinners now in New York, like on the street. By the way, if you're here and you see them, I wouldn't recommend buying them just because they're $5. And I would imagine that if they're selling them on the street for $5, they only paid like $1 for them. So they probably aren't very good. So just throwing that out there. Anyway, but I did, when I got back, I wanted to play with some more of them. So I ordered a bunch. It's just, the thing is, like, they come from China, so they generally take a little while to ship, but I ordered like a dozen of them to play with, and I might put a video on my channel. Splat Art says, my question is, well, have you ever been good at art? Just curious because I want to be an artist when I grow up, but the downside is I'm only in 5th grade middle school, which what my school says it is. Oh yeah, you know what? When I was in 5th grade, it was middle school, which was really weird because it should be elementary. Anyway, Noodle on, I have a long way to go. No, I'm not good at art. Never have been, never will be. My mom is, but unfortunately that part of her creativity, I mean, I'm creative in other things, but definitely not in art in any way. Draven Chen says, hey Think, did you like Indonesia back then when you used to live there? What did you think about the country, the food, the places, the culture? And would you like to go back and visit one day if you could? Thanks. Yes, I loved living in Jakarta, and we traveled all around Indonesia. I mean, we didn't go to Sumatra or Sulawesi. I mean, we went to smaller islands, but we did travel around Indonesia, different areas on Java. Love the country, love the people, love the food. And yes, I would like to go back, and we are going back in like, I think August or September. We're not going to be going to Jakarta, but we are going to Bali to enjoy the beautiful island and also the diving there. X Owl Lover X says, what type of elective classes did you take in high school, and which did you enjoy most? Whoa, that was a long time ago. It's hard for me to remember. I mean, see, here's the thing. So when I went to 2 different high schools. One high school in Indonesia for 9th and 10th grade, and then in California for 11th and 12th grade. So the curriculums were really, really different. And so when I started 11th grade in California, I had taken a lot more advanced courses than were necessary or part of the required curriculum for an 11th grader, or for 9th and 10th graders. So I was kind of advanced as far as the classes I'd taken. So a lot of the classes that I took in 11th grade were technically elective because they weren't standard 11th grade curriculum. They were senior curriculum. So I took calculus in 11th grade. I took like AP physics, AP chemistry. And so all of my elective classes were like, they were really like, you know, they were academic classes. None of them were for real fun. And I filled up 11th grade. And then when I was in 12th grade, there wasn't a lot left for me to take. So instead of, I think we had 8 periods, but when I was a senior, I only had 5 classes. So I got off school like I would start at 7:30 and I'd be done by noon. But I guess out of those electives, it would be between physics and chemistry. I really, really like physics. just the way that it works in my mind, minus quantum physics. Don't like that. But and then chemistry is really fun because I was because I was partners with so my chemistry partner was the son of my chemistry teacher. So we got away with a lot, and we got to do a lot of really cool experiments that you probably shouldn't have done just because he was his son, and we got away with everything. That was pretty fun. Audrey is me says, just a completely random question. Do you have any nieces or nephews? No, neither my sister nor myself have any children. Voter Pro asks, do you have any other friends outside YouTube who don't know that you do YouTube? Yes. Yeah, definitely. But, so actually one of our friends knew that I did YouTube, but didn't quite understand. And we went to dinner on Monday night for my birthday. Although my birthday was Tuesday, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, we all went out and I was talking to them, and one of his friends is a CEO of a toy company. And I was like, that's sweet, man. Do you think you could like do an intro? I'd like to talk to him, see if we can work out any merchandising opportunities. He's like, oh yeah, totally. So then the next day he's like, hey, I was looking up your YouTube channel. And I know it's Thinknoodles, but there's a lot of them. Which one is it? And I was like, and he's like, is it the one with 2,900 videos and 2.3 million subscribers? And I was like, oh yeah, that's the one. There's a lot of like copies out there. And all I got back was O space M space G. You are so hardcore. And he knew I did YouTube, but he had no idea how many of you guys out there there were. Leonidas Karios says, have you ever been concerned about Kopi having puppies? And if Kopi did somehow have puppies, how would you react? I'd be really surprised because Kopi was fixed when she was about between 6 and 8 months old. So she actually is physically incapable of having puppies. Speaking of puppies, Dark Online says, hey, I just got a new golden retriever puppy. Any tips on how to train him? Thanks to Noodleon. Yeah, the two things that I think that were really instrumental in making Kopi as awesome as she is. One was crate training her, and we crate trained her until she was about 2 years old. And the other thing was a clicker for positive reinforcement to teach her things. We've never, ever, ever, ever hit her or anything like that. Of course, you know, when she does something bad, we used to call her bad dog, but she doesn't do anything bad anymore. I mean, I haven't said bad dog in many, many, many years. But yeah, those two things are really, really, really good for training dogs. Ender Cookie X XX Ender Cookies XX asks, what's your favorite color? Wait, hear me out. I know it's blue, but what type of blue? Light blue, dark blue, aqua blue, navy blue, cyan blue, indigo blue, turquoise blue. There's so many types of blues, and it'd be handy for fan art to know the exact one. See, that's tough, right? Because it depends on what it is. Because like, if you're talking crayons, right? My favorite crayon was the navy blue. That was always my favorite crayon color. But like, I really, really like a turquoise blue, like the colors of the ocean, like in a really clear ocean. I love that color, like just looking at that. Even clothing, I like blues, but not necessarily navy blue is not my favorite. Wolf says, this is unhealthy, but I only ate noodles today. You know what? That sounds like a great day. I cannot criticize you at all for that. Well done. Chadster2004 says, hey, for future Ask Thinks, you think you could do a live stream so the questions as well as the answers are all live and we can ask you questions right at the moment? I personally would think that would be pretty cool. If you do decide to use Facecam, it would be perfect for this. You're right. The only thing about it is it would be really, really tough to find questions because the live streams, you know, the chat moves so quickly. I don't know how I could facilitate it. Maybe. I mean, that would be pretty fun. You're absolutely right. The Amethyst, Aquarius Bobini says, did you know that I'm related to you? Every human in the world is related in some way. Okay. I was like, wait a minute. Who is this? Hubs Zen asks, are you going to get a Lamborghini? No. I don't know. You know what? In New York, that is probably one of the most impractical cars you could get. Any sports car that's really low. I mean, I guess a lot of Lamborghinis are all-wheel drive, but for all? Anyway, yeah, when it becomes winter, those cars are really, really, really bad. High torque, and everything just makes them impossible to drive. So no, I guess if we were gonna get a new car, we would, I do want a Tesla really, really bad. Mario Will R asks, did you have braces when you were a kid? If so, what did you not like about them? Yes, I did, and I hated when I would go to the dentist or the orthodontist and they would adjust them, because it would always adjust the brackets to a place in my mouth that would like cut the inside of my cheeks. I hated that and putting the wax on them. I also hated that there were things I couldn't eat. Loading Pikachu says, my question for you is, when did you first meet Stampy? I guess the only time I ever met Stampy and Squishy was at Dan's show in Brighton about a year ago. Stratus Class, why you no Twitch stream anymore? The reason is because, well, all of you guys are on YouTube and I don't like splitting my audience. And the YouTube streaming has come a long way from back when I used to Twitch stream. So I don't really need to anymore. Elise Crawford says, hey Think, can you maybe cut your videos a little bit more? Especially the Pokemons are getting really long. Just a suggestion, noodle on. So when you say the Pokemon ones, do you mean the Roblox Pokemon Brick Bronze or do you mean Pokemon Sun? Either way, I do agree with you. And actually, prior to seeing this, I actually, over the last few videos, I've been doing a little bit more editing, a little bit more cutting, and trying to add a little more creativity into my editing to make the videos more entertaining. I hope you guys are noticing and enjoying, because it does take quite a bit more effort. Greg Gamer HD Official says, will you ever make a new Poptropica video? Not sure if you're waiting on the new islands or not, but I just got back into the game. Yes, I will, and yes, I was. I know Crisis Caverns is out in Poptropica Worlds. I had a meeting with someone from Poptropica on Friday, and I will be making a Road to Captain Thinknoodles and a walkthrough for Crisis Cavern this week. Just waiting for them to put a patch on a Poptropica Worlds. She was just telling me that there was sort of an issue with importing your Poptropican from the original Poptropica into the new Poptropica. It gives you a naked Poptropican. Don't go do it, guys, just to see a naked Poptropican, but that's what I was told. Jack Watson says, hey Think, with the new Clash of Clans update, are you considering playing it again? You know what, I kind of am, because so many people have been asking and asking. It has something to do with water, I think. But so many people have been asking me to play it again. I have been thinking about it. Caleb Skywalker asks, why do you play Roblox so much? I know some people like it, but I never understand why. Well, here's the thing, right? So playing Roblox is sort of like playing Minecraft. And the reason that's an obvious thing. That's just so stupid. I don't even believe I just said that. But obviously, so the reason I say that is because Roblox and Minecraft, to me, are frameworks. I mean, Minecraft's a little different because there is a survival mode and there's no like Roblox, like regular mode, right? My Minecraft survival or just opening a Minecraft world is regular Minecraft. And then mini games and servers have all these different modes and things that are more like Roblox games, like, you know, Bed Wars, Murder Mystery, things like that, right? So Roblox pretty much only has what a Minecraft server is. And so I don't really think of myself as playing Roblox. Like when I get up in the morning, I'm like, oh, what am I gonna play today? I'll play Brick Bronze. I don't think I'm gonna play Roblox Brick Bronze, right? I'm playing Brick Bronze because that is a completely different game than, say, Murder Mystery or Heroes of Robloxia or something like that. Just because they're within that framework, it's not really the same game. And that is what I like about Roblox is, yes, it's derpy, yes, it's glitchy, but you can play so many different types of games within this game and or framework. And that's why I play it, because there's so much variety and I still haven't gotten bored of it yet. Jan Gaming 1234 says, think in all the Pokemon you played, which shiny were you the happiest to get? I mean, that's really tough. Like right now I'm enamored with my shiny Ditto because in Pokemon Brick Bronze, because it will transform into will transform the shiny version of any other Pokemon. So that is like the coolest one. I guess as far as the one I was happiest to get, I don't know, but I think it was the shiny Ditto. Just because it was really expensive, but I was so happy to get it, just because it transforms into all the other shiny Pokemon. The guy with a really long name asks me, where do you get Riolu in Brick Bronze? On Route 8. You have to try a lot, but you will find it. Meow Games says, I have an 11-year-old dog named Millie. She was my first ever dog, and I don't think she's fully dog. She's, I swear, half walrus, bear, half dog. Sometimes, if she's laying on the floor, I lay down next to her back to back. She starts going goosey and makes walrus noises as we bump the back of our heads together. I don't think you're fully human, because I think you're participating in the walrus noises and the bumping heads thing. I think you guys are a match made in heaven. Pinnakin Kale says, I miss the old Thinknoodles. I think you posted this technically on my birthday, and I'm even older than the old Thinknoodles, so I don't see how you could miss me unless you don't like the older Thinknoodles as much as you like the old Thinknoodles. Oh man, what happens when I become the oldest Thinknoodles? You're gonna miss the older Thinknoodles. Exoskelebot says, okay, weird question. Would you be willing to eat a bowl of spiders for $40,000? No. Oh, no. $80,000. No. I know it's a bowl of spiders, so $100,000. No. Okay. What? So right when I went to the okay part, I pictured, no. Ugh. I pictured the bowl of spiders. I don't even like saying it because I'm picturing it in my head. Ugh. Okay. How about a bowl of rice for $40,000? Yes. Just get that image out of my head. Ugh. Okay. Kopi Bowman says, Thinknoodles say a cause word. Because? Or causeway? Quinlan Fanny says, a really important question for the next one. Do you have cookie? That's the question, lady. And if you guys, I don't know if this rings a bell for anyone, but that is definitely, and as soon as I read it, I was like, that is from a Thinks Lab. I remember that one, and actually, that was like, I think that was the episode where I decided, like, I know where this series is going. I know what I'm going to start doing. And that's when I got really, really creative with the editing and the characters and stuff. So guys, that is it for this episode of Ask Think. Don't forget to leave your question in the comments below so I can have something fun to answer in the next episode. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And please do become a Noodler today and subscribe. I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching. And of course, Noodle Line!